Songwriter and producer Linda Perry steps into the media spotlight on the rarest of occasions. These days, she's most comfortable making music behind the scenes.
You gotta do that open hat thing so it's like going boom, boom.
A far cry from her rock and roll beginnings. Her hit songs were fueled by the dark emotions of her childhood. She had survived a suicide attempt, drugs, and the rejection she felt when she came out as a lesbian. But the pop star's life felt empty to Linda. She had to make a change. Writing a hit record, she turned around and begged out of her recording contract. Linda was blown away by her label's reaction.
They kept me and let the band go.
It wasn't that there weren't other writers and people who weren't important, but Linda was the front man or front woman.
I felt like I just betrayed the band because I was saying, let me go. I need to go find myself. These guys are great.
Racked with guilt, but thrilled to be solo, Linda laid out her new vision.
I had a record in mind. I described it to the company. It was dark. It was very vague. It was me using my lower register, really moody.
Linda partnered up with celebrated producer Bill Bottrell to work on the album she would later call In Flight.
It was a really, really great experience. He taught me everything I know. Like, I asked so many questions about engineering and recording. Finally, he just grabbed me, literally grabbed me on my shoulders, put me in front of the console and said, just turn the knobs until it sounds good to you.
Working with the new producer would ultimately transform Linda's career, but not because the album was a hit.
The response to In Flight was, it was a snoozer. You know, I think it sold maybe 18,000 copies. I came from a band that sold 7 million records.
You know, she put so much of herself into it, and she wanted people to be able to hear it, and I think she was incredibly disappointed.
Forced to reevaluate, Linda Perry moved to Los Angeles, hoping once again for a fresh start.
I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. I tried to write songs from not my perspective, and it wasn't working. I tried to write songs from a deep place, and it wasn't working. Just nothing was working.
And while Linda explored her professional options, she freely spent the money she'd made with 4 Non-Blondes.
All I know is this money that I've made from this band is tainted. That success I did not deserve. I didn't work hard enough for it. It was just way too easy. So it was like I was just trying to get rid of it.
But with no cash coming in, Linda soon got some bad news from her accountant.
The last 10 grand I think I had, I gave it to my mom. I called my accountant and said, give the money to my mom. And she was like, that's gonna put you like under $100. I'm like, just do it.
Linda Perry may have been broke, but she wasn't worried.
I know what it's like to be poor and, you know, not have anything. So that was never an issue. I'm not afraid of that. Musically, I always have the bathroom, you know, to sit in there by myself and play and hear it ring, you know, through the acoustics.
It was an out-of-the-blue call that would put Linda back in the game.
I get this really random call from this girl, and she says, I want to meet with you. My name's Pink.
Linda didn't know who Pink was at the time. I was really familiar with her, and I thought, you gotta play her, get the party started. Play her, get the party started, which she had just written.
The upbeat pop song was unlike anything the public might have expected from the brooding songwriter-producer. Pink loved the song and collaborated with Perry on 7 additional tracks for her album Misunderstood, which not only received 2 Grammy nominations, but made Pink the top-selling female artist in 2002.
I knew it was going to be big. I knew people were going to be a little surprised by who was behind this big record.
The industry responded almost immediately. You know, as soon as the song was on the radio, Get the Party Started, you know, my phone started ringing.
Now back on top, Linda began searching out other young stars to work with. Remarkably, she saw in Christina Aguilera something of a creative soulmate.
Everybody knows Christina Aguilera can sing, but what people don't know is that you actually can feel what you're singing. And I said, and that's what I'm for.
And one of the most unlikely but successful pop musical relationships was born. Christina took Linda's ballad Beautiful to the top of the charts and received a Grammy Award for her performance. Linda's been one of the most requested music producers ever since. Coming up,
there's a lot of technicality to it in the studio and the engineering, and Linda mastered the studio.
when Women on Top returns.